Welcome to another in the series, The Soup and the Chat. Welcome to another in the series, The Soup and the Chat. I'm your host, LELEITH Tomlinson. And wow, can you believe it? We are almost at the end of January, moving so fast. So a few weeks ago, since the series has commenced, we've been looking at the whole matter of alignment and goal setting and how important that is. And we have been getting a lot of very positive feedbacks and comment from individuals who are saying, you know what I want you to talk about? Whereas I appreciate the whole matter of goals and alignment, we want to understand clearly and more in depth what exactly is this whole matter of a vision board. So today we're going to talk about visioning and planning. Now, a lot of times I want to debunk this, that a lot of times as Christians or people, we say, you know what? I don't have any money to accomplish this particular goal, so I won't even bother think about it. Or some persons might even say, you know what? The Lord will return very soon, especially based on all the things that we see happening. So they might say, you know what? The Lord is coming back real quick. So therefore, there's no need to plan. Well, that's all fallacious. We need to plan. We are people who exist in society where things are constantly transitioning and morphing in different directions. So we need to make sure that as these adjustments evolve, whether they be financial, economical, or political, or social, that we are able to take hold of opportunities as they confront us. So today I want to look a little more about the whole matter of the vision board. So what exactly is a vision board? A vision board is also called a dream board. So on the vision board, it is about what is it that you're perceiving? What is it that you're hoping for? What is it that you're conceptualizing that you want to work towards this year? And we usually encourage a vision board at the beginning of the year. The vision board is also, if you need to find a bit of direction for your life, creating a vision board will also be very, very useful. But how do you make the vision board? It is a collage. So it's a collection, and my producer is displaying a few of them. It's a collection of images, pictures, and affirmation that represents your dreams, your goals, or your desires. So what a lot of persons have been doing is like, say, for example, groups of people, you can do it by yourself. They get together and they have some coffee or juice, whatever it is that they want to drink, and they begin to talk about these things. But what we've come to recognize, and it's affirmed even in psychology as well, is that talk is one. But when you actually put down a visual representation of some of your dreams, that where you see yourself, whether it is in the first quarter or the second quarter or at the end of the year, when you see yourself, that is very impactful. It's very, very powerful. So one of the things you also want to do, and we're going to discuss that some more, is where exactly do you place the vision board? Because having sat down with your friends, your colleagues, or by yourself, and you begin to conceptualize, okay, I see myself driving a car. I see myself owning a home. I see myself losing 20 pounds. Whatever it is, what you have to keep it at a very focal point where you are able to rise in the morning and you see it. So making a vision board is meant to excite you about the future, right? You begin to see yourself, what you can conceptualize, what you can dream, what you can imagine can become real. And part of why persons are not successful at times is that they refuse to dream. But dreaming, visualizing, visioning is so powerful. If you can get your mind to begin to vision things, and even as sometimes the visions may tarry, but they will come to pass. You have to be persistent. And we're going to look also, how do you passionately pursue those visions and those good dreams? So vision boards are collections of drawings and visual arranged together to represent your ambitions. Each one is an inspiration board that can help clarify your aspirations. So somebody might say, I want to be rich, right? But rich like who? So you might have a picture of somebody that you think is very wealthy, probably like one of those tech guys or somebody, whoever it is that you are admiring as your own role model. It might be somebody in Jamaica, right? You might see a house that you like and you'd like to have it, or anything it is that, right? If you're a student, there might be somebody that you idolize that you want to buy. So you get those things and you place it also on the dream board or on the vision board. So one of the things that we have found out with technology is that the vision board, it can either be digital or the vision board can also be very, very physical, right? Vision boards are highly versatile. So one of the things that you can do, especially if it's electronic, is that you can adjust the collages. You can adjust the pictures. So sometimes you might set a goal and you say, okay, I wanted to accomplish this in the first quarter, but you recognize that it is possible in the second quarter, or it might be in the third quarter. So the vision board allows you, depending on how you have arranged it, to adjust the collages and in so doing adjust your dreams. Vision boards focus on creating a visual representation of your personal vision statement. So if I come into your room or your house or even your bathroom, wherever you place that vision board, it is capturing your own personal vision statement. So if I go into somebody's house and I see a vision board that has on a lot of healthy food, and weights and stuff like that, I automatically can interpret from what I'm seeing that this person's goal for this year is definitely going to be on a vision path. It might be spiritual goals. So they might have, church, they might have worship, they might have things that will inspire them to stay on a particular route because they know where it is that they want to go. So it's very, very important to have these vision boards. Now, some persons can say, how far should the vision board be? You can decide how the length of your vision board. You might want a vision board for a year. You might want a vision board for 5 years. So that's why we're saying the versatility of the board, especially if it's an electronic board. So the question we'll ask ourselves is that, how do we create the board? So we take time out to, first of all, one of the things that we have to do is that we have to be very clear about what is it that we want. Sometimes some persons, they're all over the place. I want to be rich. I want to be healthy. They're all over. But I find sometimes that when we zero in on a few things and we are being more strategic, that it is very, very helpful. So one of the things that we want to do is that we want to say to ourselves, right? So it can be fun and easy, right? We don't need to overthink the process, right? Because somebody say, oh, I can't draw. No, you can just simply go online. You get the images of what is it that you want, places you want to go. So for example, if you want to go to South Africa, you want to go to Dubai, you want to go to Australia, wherever it is that you want to go, you would get those images and you get them from online. So engage yourself and your creativity to build your dream board. Because, I recall when I did my first dream board, I felt so proud of myself. Just looking at those images and just automatically kind of seeing myself plotting my little pathways to accomplishing my dreams. So it can be a very creative exercise. As I said, friends can gather together for a time of reflection and so on as they put this together. So it can be really, really exciting. Your vision board is a total personality to you. So don't worry about defending yourself or impressing anyone, right? And that is always so important. I find that sometimes when we set goals, we are trying to compete with people. We know our limitations, we know our aspirations, and we know ourselves. So somebody might put something that they know that they can accomplish in 1 year, but you know that for you, wow, this is an easy 6 months. And the converse could also be true. So you can set your vision board in different ways. So we're looking at different things on the vision board, and you can see the different ones passing along on the screen. Now, to create physical vision board, you can hang anywhere in your home or office. You can try to follow these steps. So take some time to clarify, what exactly do I want? Gather your materials, whether it be pens and pencils and art things, and find the images and words. So that's the good thing about the vision board as well. After you have your paintings or your drawings or your images that you form the collage, you can also write your statements, your optimistic statement, your dreams right beside that. So if I have one, for example, I'm always talking about losing 2 pounds, right? So I might have some weights and I might say 2 pounds, possibly it is. So you have your own narrative and you work towards your own narrative. Now, why we say the versatility of the vision board is like, for example, if it's about, you can monitor yourself on the vision board. So, for example, if I have a goal to lose 10 pounds, I'm talking about this 10 pounds, but you can say, okay, vision accomplished 9 pounds, vision accomplished 6 pounds. But visioning, guys, is very, very important. And it's something that I want us all to start to practice. Without vision, the people perish. Without thinking about the future could easily pass us by. And we say, whoa, when did this happen? When did this person seize this moment? So we always have to be doing active thinking and plotting a trajectory as to how we want to accomplish these goals. So you gather all your things together. So always take time to clarify your vision. A vision requires you to reflect on your desires and your aspiration. You know, sometimes we ask persons, what is it that you want to do? You never really know, sir. Why the way all things are going? No. Because in the midst of all the mayhem around, you know, you're still going to survive. So the thing is that you have to plan, how is it that you're going to survive in the midst of all of this? Before starting your vision board, clarify your goals. What do you want to manifest on your vision board? So you have to decide exactly what is it that you want. And like I was saying to you all around, that the vision board can be foam, it can be posters, it can be hardboard, and our producer is showing you some of these. It can be a wire board, a whiteboard, a magnetic board for your fridge, a corkboard. It can be, and as we say, it can also be electronic. It doesn't matter how or what you use for your vision board. You have to be, you just have to be sincere about it. You can also use any type of material that you want. So this is not something that you're going to engage in that is a costly activity, but such an activity that can cost you if you don't have anything at all to guide you as opportunities present themselves. All right, some persons like to journal, so you can use a journal method as well. But in what is trending now is mostly like persons using the vision board or photo album or box. So you can use different mediums to capture what is it that you want exactly. Now, I want us all to understand that, right? If you're skeptical whether you need to start the vision board, we have to understand that it is rooted in visualization and the law of attraction, all right? Meaning that it suggests that by regularly viewing and engaging with visual representation of your goals, you can better align your thoughts and your actions towards achieving them. So if you're a skeptic and say, oh, this is just a little thing trending, no, it's soon gone. I mean, many people can tell you that when you wake up in the morning and you look at that board and you see where you're going, and even if you're not making strides, it reminds you of where you ought to be. So remember, we're not just going to just create things willy-nilly on the board, but we're going to create things on the board that we know can indeed be very, very impactful to us. And so that's very, very, very important. By placing the vision board in a prominent location, as I said earlier on, and reviewing it frequently. So the ladies meet every last Sunday, or the men meet whenever. You can always go back to revisit the board, and you can reinforce your goals in their subconscious. Wow, this looks like it's not going to happen now, but I'm still going to keep dreaming. I'm going to put it back on the board, right? The potential can increase your motivation and awareness of opportunities. Say, for example, you said, people say, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to make some money, right? A lot of people, and I find that with the young kids as well, when you talk to them and say to them, what is it that you want to do? A lot of people want to be business people, right? I want to be a businessman. I want to be a businesswoman. But when you actually ask them, business in what? So you say, well, vision is important. It is good to say, I want to do something, but narrow it up a little bit, position it, be very pointed in exactly what you want to do. Because sometimes when you're not clear, even if funding arises, you just want to be a businessman. People are not going to fund your business just because you want to be a businessman. So see where your appetite lies. Is it that you want to be a florist? Is it that you want to be a small business in terms of a restaurant? What exactly that you want to do? And that's what I'm saying, that the vision board, especially when done with other people, helps you pull you out and pull you in. Your goals become more centralized. Now, it isn't a magic though. It's not like everything off the board is going to just happen like that. But what it does is that, like we said, it reinforces your goal, right? So we want to encourage persons in this season to really, really come up with ideas. And it's not too late. I mean, January has just started. For most people, they're still finding their bearings. But let me give you some ideas of vision boards, right? So you could have a vision board of your dream job. Huh? So if it's a tech job, you might have images of persons in tech positions, I mean, highly recognized technical professions and so on. I mean, your apples and people that you admire and so on. So you can have some of those persons. It might be financial goals. So you can write the number, you can put up dollar sign, you can, say exactly how much is it that you want to accomplish, put your vision, put it down. Some persons would like to say you can have a vision board that speaks about your relationship with people as well. I want to cultivate better relationship. We also talk about places you want to travel, right? Health goals is a very popular one. Mental or spiritual growth that you'd like to achieve. Of course, you say, boy, I want to be like a Esther. I want to be like a Moses. I want to be like Samson was good, but Samson has his pitfalls. So I'm not sure if you really want to be like Samson in terms of his end. Well, his end was good, but that a lot of part of his life when he got distracted and so on. So you see, that's what I like about the vision board. Can we have more than one vision board? Yes, we can. And we can also capture more than one type of vision on a single board. We could also have, for example, on our vision board, certification or awards. Person might say, okay, this year I know I want to complete my bachelor's or my master's or your PhD or a certificate, whatever it is. I had a gentleman the other day, I was speaking to him, and he said, I was so moved by his story. And he said to me, I'm going to try to get him on the program so you can hear his story. He was applying to do a program, right, at the university. And as I interacted with this man, I found him such a inspiration. So, he was coming under what was classified as a mature entry. So he never had the regular prerequisites, but you can also come in. For example, some universities will take you based on your work experience that will account for something. We call it prior learning, right? So as I was interacting with this gentleman, I said to him, why do you want to come back to school at this stage? And the man said, that has always been my vision. He said, I've never heard this before. I know it happens, but I've never heard somebody actually say it. The gentleman said to me, Miss, I was a teenage dad. And by becoming a teenage dad, I wanted to be responsible. So I spent most of my time and years really trying to nurture and provide for my children. And, as he evolved out of teenage years and he had more children. So all of his life was spent making sure that they were covered. And he felt now, as he began to reflect and plot his own course, that now was his time to shine. And that was on his vision board. So, even though he never accomplished it so many years ago, he now had an opportunity. That was something that he always wanted. And that's what the vision board does. Once you write the vision and you make it plain, that's what the Abacus says, right? It brings into your focus. You're able to visualize it every day, and it almost becomes a part of why I wake up in the morning, because I want to accomplish this. So also vision boards can be hobbies or passions that you'd like to be able to do, or community involvement, or cutting out images of lifestyle changes, like things you used to do but you don't want to do those things anymore. We can look at things such as adventures and experience you want to have, mindfulness and emotional goals. So the vision board really lends itself to a multiplicity of areas, a wide variety of areas that you can focus on as you dream and you begin to plan. And I want to say this as well, that whereas we encourage persons to be visionaries and to dream and to, just think about where they want to be 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, it's also important not just to dream, because then it just remains that, but it's important as well to plan. All right. So vision boards are very, very important. They're not just trending, but they're also very useful tools that would encourage persons to really get involved in. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the man who doesn't plan is a man who is going to be left behind. And when opportunities confront him or her, then he's going to have a challenge. Is this really what I want to do? And not be able to take hold of it. So it's very, very important to make sure that you plan your goals. All right. So remember to find images that you know that are important. Now I want to look at some things that how you manage your vision board, right? How do you manage the vision board? Remember, you can start anytime, right? You can do your own layout, prioritization, all right? So for example, there are some goals that must precede another goal, right? Logically, sometimes, so okay, so for example, I want to be a doctor. So I have my image of a hospital and I have my image of a doctor, right? A medical doctor. But I know I have to pass probably a state bar, or I have to pass my exams, my end of clinicals and so on and so forth. So what we want to do is that we want to have a layout of the process, because what it is saying to us indirectly and directly as well, that these things are very, very important along the way. And that is how some persons miss out on achieving their goals. You want to accomplish X, but you have not plotted the precursors to X. And those precursors are very, very important. So when plotting your goals and you're making your dream board or your vision board, it is very important that you remember that you have to say to yourself, what actually comes before what? All right. So do I need to get certification? What is it that I need to do? And then you proceed, because it cannot, most of those visions, you're not just going to automatically arrive at those stations. You have to go through the different processes. All right. Prioritize. Prioritization is very important. You have to prioritize as you do the layout, which one comes before one. Sometimes the funding is needed to facilitate another activity. So it shows you the kind of thought that you're putting into this vision board and how you will have to work towards it. Sometimes I have students or I have people say, listen, I'm not going to be very lavish this year, buying new clothes or buying new shoes, because my greater goal is to be able to save towards my tuition, because I see myself in university. So that is what is important. So you have to have the prioritization, have the goals set out so that you will know how exactly to maneuver your way throughout. One of the things I also said earlier on is that your vision board should evolve as your goals change. All right. So sometimes you said to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this and it's going to take this amount of time. An opportunity might open up and you're able to do it before time. So you need to be able to maneuver the board and make the adjustment, right? There are moments when you'll have, because you're excited because something happened before the time. And I'm going to be real that there are times when you really feel defeated because your vision has been deferred, right? But remember, a deferred goal, it doesn't mean that it's a denied goal. That was really so good. A deferred goal is not a denied goal, right? So sometimes goals are deferred. For example, we have young people who they didn't plan to become pregnant, but it happens, right? So not because now you have to defer your goal because of this new state that you're now in means that your goal is going to be denied forever. You need to bounce back. You can come back and you can still be on your path. And what is good is that why these vision boards are so useful is that when you go off course and when you're deterred by any whatever challenges it may be, because you have the board, you take up back your vision board and you can look back and say, wow, okay, so this was where I was and this was something that I actually want to do. So I'm really a big fan of this board. All right. So regularly replace old images with new ones. For example, if it's like gadgets and you say you wanted to have this kind of phone, probably for school or whatever, and you know that that kind of model is outdated, you can replace that model. All right. Representing the latest dreams. When you achieve a goal, celebrate by moving that image to a victory board or a scrapbook. So one of the things that has evolved is that, and I think this is so exciting. So what persons have done is that they had their dream board. And then as they begin to accomplish, they begin to move things from the dream board now onto the victory board or their personal scrapbook or their journal. And why I think this is so good is that as you become adults and as you become older and you go back to those victory books or you go back to those journals and you see how you got here, those are powerful stories that you can share with your children or share with other people. Because what I find is that a lot of times when people see successful people, they almost want to think that they just arrived at the station and nothing could be further from the truth. A lot of people have been through their struggles. They have had their heartbreaks. They have had their no's. They have had their not today, but they persevered and they passionately pursued their purpose. Or also want to encourage persons to do is share your vision with others, right? I know sometimes we can be very skeptic. No, they're not going to tell that person. But sometimes sharing is so important. And why I think sharing is also important is because you get to have what we call accountability partners, right? Person says, why are you not studying? Or why are you eating this? Didn't we say that this was the goal for so and so? So they help in a very respectful way to keep us accountable to whatever it is that we have on the vision board, right? So whenever you're using a particular poster board, digital board, you don't need to do a broadcast or social media or share with the entire family. Instead, consider sharing it with a few selected individuals. Now, as we wrap up, I want to say this, right? It is so important that we scratch the, be okay with being scratch, with starting from scratch to build your own board. In 2024 study, researchers of the Journal of Research in Personality found that vision inspires and creates positive emotion. So visioning is so important, and how we capture that vision is important. They create positivity because they make you believe your dreams are within reach by putting your goals on something you see them daily and you focus on what matters. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you perceiving? What is it that you hope to achieve? Remember, you have got to make your vision plain. And starting by forming or creating your vision board is a very positive step in the right direction. Things don't always just happen. Sometimes we have to perceive them and work towards them to make it real. Until next time, let's continue dreaming and continue to make our dreams a reality by making them plain on our vision boards. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, let us continue to sip and chat.